All right, guys. We are going to be talking about environmental issues again today, specifically acid rain in Germany. Okay, acid rain in Germany. And if you want to look at the standard right there, SS6G9 explained the major concerns of Europeans regarding the issues such as acid rain in Germany, air pollution in the United Kingdom, which is what we did yesterday, and the nuclear disaster in Chernobyl, Ukraine. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is we have our PowerPoint, which is on the screen, and we also have our notes, which are in front of us right now. Okay, all right, and I'm doing the notes along with you. We are working together, and let's do this. Okay, all right, first slide we're looking at, it says air pollution. Okay, so what kind of air pollution does Germany have? Well, you know, if you didn't know this, Germany's big into cars. Okay, so things like BMW, Volkswagen. Okay, both big time German cars. If you didn't know that, okay. So they make a lot of cars, and when you make a lot of cars, it means you have a lot of factories. But it also means, it means what? You know, it means you are going to have a lot of cars on the road, and that's going to cause even more pollution. So as you can see on the picture in front of you right here, you see the exhaust. We talked about that yesterday. But 43 million cars and coal-burning industries contribute to air pollution. Okay, and that leads to acid rain. So if we look at our first blank, the correct statement is 43 million. Okay, so you need to put 43 million in the first blank. Okay, so it says 43 million cars and coal-burning industries contribute to air pollution. Okay, so hit pause and write that down. Okay, so it's right there, 43 million. Okay, all right, next slide. Acid rain is a result of air pollution. When any type of fuel is burnt, lots of different chemicals are produced and released into the air and mixed with water in the clouds. Okay, so if we look down at our paper, we'll see that acid rain is a result of what? Well, acid rain is a result of air pollution. Okay, so if we look right there, air pollution is next. All right, when any type of fuel is blank, when any type of fuel is burnt, lots of different chemicals are produced and released into the air and mixed with what into the clouds? Well, how do you make rain? How do you make acid rain? Well, it's got to mix with the what? The water. Okay, yeah, it's got to mix with the water. All right, so the rain from these clouds then falls as very weak acid, which is why it's known as acid rain. Now it's weak. Okay, so if you're not strong, you're weak. Okay, so this weak acid, it is not strong enough to where it's going to burn you. Okay, there is not acid that comes from the sky and burns you like you are the Wicked Witch of the West on Wizard of Oz. You're not going to melt. Okay, all right, I'm melting, all that stuff. You're not going to do that. Okay, all right. Acid rain is just rain water that has acidity in it. Okay, all right. It has acid, which you're going to see is going to hurt trees and plants and lakes and fish and some buildings and statues and other things. But it's not going to necessarily burn you. Okay. All right. So from that point, if we look down at our paper, it says the rain from these clouds then falls as very weak. Okay. Weak. All right. Weak acid. Weak is the next line, which is why it is known as what? Well, it's known as acid rain. Okay, acid rain. All right, it's not as acidic enough to blank. Well, the next line says not acidic enough to what? Burn your what? Your skin. Okay, it's not acidic enough to burn your skin. Okay. But it's very harmful for the environment. Like I said, it's going to hurt all the nice animals and the trees and everything that we love in the environment. It's going to hurt it, but it's not going to hurt you, which is a good thing. Okay, you don't want to have to, there never needs to be a time where we're afraid to go outside because the rain is going to burn us. No, that's not the case with this. Okay, that's not this kind of acid rain. Okay, all right, next slide. All right, now if we're looking at the picture in front of you, guys, that's like the prototypical factory picture. All right, you see the nastiness coming out of the smokestacks, and it is going up into the air, which is going to mix with the clouds, we already know, and it creates acid rain. Okay, now we know that also creates smog, but those factories in Germany are also going to create acid rain. Okay, moving on, here we go. Acid rain in Germany. Germany is a country of old forest, beautiful rivers, and historic artwork and buildings. Over the past 30 years, acid rain has taken its toll on these landmarks. Acid rain has ruined nearly half of the Black Forest in southwest Germany. It has damaged the soil and the trees growing in it. Now, if we look down at the picture that I have right there for you to look at, this right here is the Black Forest. Now, if you're wondering why it's called the Black Forest, my guess is maybe it gets really dark when you're when you're walking through the forest. It's thick. No, there's not like black trees growing there and everything's black. I don't know why it's called that, to be honest with you. I would assume because the thickness of the forest is dark, so it's called the Black Forest. Okay, but it's a nice place. It's one of the Earth's oldest forest. And it's a big deal to Germany, so it's bad that it's being hurt by acid rain. Okay, so if there's one thing that you need to remember from this PowerPoint, besides the fact that it's acid rain in Germany, know that the Black Forest is what is being hurt by this acid rain. Okay, all right. So if we look at our slides, or our fill in the blank, I should say, Germany is an old country of what? Well, it's an old country of forest, okay, of old forest, beautiful rivers, and historic artwork, and what? And this is the blank, the last blank right there, buildings. Okay, now I encourage you to hit pause when you're writing these down so you don't miss what I'm saying. Okay, all right, I know you've done this before already, so you should be getting used to it. Hit pause and you'll get it done. Okay, all right, so over the past how many years? Here's the blank right here. Over the past 30 years. Okay, you can just put 30 right there. 30 years, and then acid rain has ruined nearly how much of the Black Forest? God, that's so bad, guys. Nearly half, nearly half of the Black Forest. So there's your next line right there. Half of the what? Of the Black Forest. All right, in southwest Germany. Okay, all right, the Black Forest. All right, and the last line, again, it has damaged the soil and the trees growing in it. So you know how trees work, okay? When it rains, they soak up that moisture, and it's how they drink water, basically. So, would you like to be drinking poison? No. Okay, so, as it soaks up that water from the ground, it's basically drinking acid. It's poisoning the trees, okay? So, again, it has damaged the soil and the trees growing in it. Okay, next slide. All right, this slide right here kind of shows you what's happening to the trees. Guys, I don't know if you know what a healthy tree looks like, but healthy trees have green, luscious leaves, okay? All right, green leaves. This right here, what you're looking at, that's a dead tree, okay? I'm not sure if you realize that, but this is what dead trees look like. Trees that have been affected by acid rain, okay? So those trees are dead. All right, and yes, that is the Black Forest. Again, look at that. That is the Black Forest right there. You see some healthy trees. What about these ones that look very bare? Okay, those are dead. Those are dead trees. All right, unfortunately, those are dead trees. And this is what the acid rain is doing to the Black Forest. Okay, it's this rain is really hurting it. it is causing it to a lot of it to die. Like I said, nearly half of it is dying from acid rain. Okay, all right. So the forest is sick, and it's because of the acid rain. All right, now back to what we're looking at. Many acres of diseased trees are at risk of dying. Sulfur and nitrogen found in acid rain eat holes in the surfaces of statues and buildings. Acid rain pollutes rivers like the Danube and the Rhine, and it kills the wildlife living there. Okay, so many acres. All right, so if we're looking at our paper, it says many acres of diseased trees are at risk of what? Here we go, right here, dying. Okay, at risk of dying. Sulfur is the next blank, and then nitrogen. Sulfur and nitrogen found in the acid rain eats at holes in the surface of statues and buildings. Well, if we look at the picture right here, look how this, my man or woman, whatever this is, lady, person, angel, I'm not sure what this is a statue of, but you see the statue and look at the face, the hands, the definition of what's going on there. Well, look at the next one that's been affected by acid rain. You can't tell what this just looks like. A blob now. Okay, it was some kind of human figure, but it's just a gray blob. Okay, that's what acid rain is doing to those statues. Okay, and buildings in Germany. All right. Acid rain pollutes rivers. Okay, like the what? We've heard of this one. We talked about this one. So the next blank is the Danube. Okay, the Danube and the Rhine. Okay, the Rhine right here, the Rhine. And again, it kills a lot of the wildlife living there. Okay. All right, next slide. Now look at this. Okay, I told you what a healthy tree has green leaves. Okay, a sick tree has yellow ones. That tree is dying. Okay, this has been affected. This is an affected limb. Okay, or leaf. So healthy, green is healthy, yellow is sick or dying. Okay, and that kind of shows you what's happening right there. And that, again, that's a cause of acid rain. All right, so let's talk some causes and why this is happening. Well, when it comes to the problem of acid rain, Germany is its own worst enemy. The main source of acid rain are smoke from factories and power plants. These facilities burn fuels like natural gas, coal, and oil. Cars and buses that burn gasoline and diesel produce these gases too. Okay, at the beginning of the year we talked about what really was kind of drove Germany's economy. We talked about how awesome their economy was. Well, what drives it? Well, manufacturing drives it. Okay, so because they are such big into manufacturing, that means they have a lot of factories. Okay, and like I told you before, they have a lot of car plants. Well, what do you think powers these things? Okay, they are powered by natural gas, coal, and oil. Now we already know what happens, when coal is burned. That automatically it creates air pollution. Okay, all right, we know that creates air pollution. Well, oil is like that too. Okay, all these natural resources being burned hurts the environment and it creates air pollution, like acid rain. Okay, so when it comes to the problem of blank. All right, so if we look up here, when it comes to the problem of right here, acid rain, write that down, acid rain, that's the blank. Again, Germany is its own worst enemy. Okay, for the next line, it says the main source of acid rain are smoke from what? The next right there, smoke from factories. And what else? Power plants. All right, so again, make sure you're pausing this when you're writing this down, okay? These facilities burn fuels like what? They burn fuels like, well, our first is natural gas, coal, and oil. Okay, so those are those three blanks right there.